Alright, Highlander, and we're dealing with Tyranids. I got 2 frigates, I got a Dictator, and the convenience of a beacon. Just no disruption overcharge to really screw over Tyranids. Which is the one thing interesting that Imperial Navy do not have. And with all these, Armageddons and the Dictator, I have really good torpedoes and ramming potential. I just gotta abuse the hell out of their focus fire potential, so that way my shields are absorbing the majority of the pyroacid damage. That's even assuming it is a pyroacid fleet. I'm going with the assumption is, but you never can tell. I'm just wondering where I want to put my fleets, since we're likely going to be fighting for that middle point. Or at least that's where I want to go, and I have convenient gas cloud here. So I'm going to have to boost my Armageddons to group up with the Apocalypse, since this is well, this could be a mistake, but a beacon helps a little bit. And with Disruption Bomb is kind of given to help deal with their shields quite a bit. And Kulex's Assassin does me very little, so it's either that or increase my shield power, since I did say if it's Pyroacid, extra health on my shields is kind of needed. But I like the ramming potential for when they get in close. I just haven't heard any tracking senses, so it remains to be seen what we're up against.
We serve. Engaging engines.
Either way, the first half of this battle is going to be pretty straightforward. Grab the objectives, get what momentum I can, and ideally use this objective to my advantage.
You have seized a strategic area.
If they grab that point, then, well, if they're trying for that point, then they'll have to circle around there.
Underway.
And I burnt all my combustion gauge, which is annoying, but not a huge loss yet.
Changing course.
I just wish these guys are way too tight in arc, so we're gonna have to fix that. Because when I turn sideways like this, it's gonna be a little bit problematic.
Coordinates acknowledged.
Now, Dictator, I'm trying to figure out where the beacon will go.
Fury interceptors in flight.
And just cover this zone. Only real spot I'm really worried about coming by is over on this right. And I haven't heard any rushes, so you never could tell what that might imply.
Heading acknowledged.
That's always the unknown element I'm worried about. And they capture that quickly too, so I would suggest
Aye, Admiral.
there's battleships over there.
Enemy sighted.
So this is a Pyroacid fleet from the looks of it. Now, I want to get ready to scanner pulse too, in case there's more. And ideally, just kill what I can for free. How close am I? A ways away, and I didn't look at upgrades. They don't have chameleonic skin. And I think that fighter covers the rest of that blind spot for me. At first I thought that was like 2 fire results. Okay, we know there's a cruiser of some kind there.
Engaging engines.
Just do the damage necessary. Let's get what we can for free kills here.
Your orders?
And ideally, I want to make sure I reveal.
The enemy has seized a strategic
Since they have
area.
Shroud, I'm willing to just kamikaze with this thing. Hell,
Changing course.
that was like the best giveaway you could have given me.
Coordinates
And a slight
acknowledged.
turn for good measure.
Burn retros.
Well, that's amazing value. Although,
Course engaged.
they do have this cursed little thing right here.
Understood.
Very limited on their Pyroacid, interestingly enough, but the shields are probably going to be gone by the time I even get the Disruption Bomb to go off, so gotta be ready for this. A little bit of an awkward position for me.
Changing course.
And there is a frigate over there. Only a single frigate, so...
Coordinates acknowledged.
And also,
Aye, Admiral.
let's recall my ships too, because Apocalypse is sadly in a bad spot.
Aye, Admiral.
And actually, you are the flagship, but at the same time, I'm willing to bet their upgrades are the Synaptic Link, aren't they?
Acquiring new vector. We wait your command.
So this might cost me some. Unless they want to run away from me.
Underway. Understood.
I got the fire assaults, that's what I want.
Engaging engines.
I don't think these torpedoes are gonna hit. Alright, nope. They just went right through the ship.
Execute.
And actually, I should have had the Dictator ram in all seriousness. That probably would have been a better idea.
Underway.
But again, let's use the weakness of the Pyro Acid against them. Or at least their fleet in general, I guess is the truth of the matter.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Engaging
And just gone here. Oh yeah, you're just gonna try and deny me my
Sighted.
mobility a bit.
Coordinates acknowledged.
Let's kill the Krakens. Disruption bomb for good measure, and I did have a beacon.
Sir.
Understood.
Now, I need to rely on good torpedo hits. Which makes me want to just kill you immediately, in all honesty.
Burn retros.
Which sadly you're too close for, but
We serve.
I can
Changing
ram.
course. Your orders?
Because, yes, thank you for the ram.
Aye, Admiral.
Sadly, this is all but dead, but can I get at least one good torpedo hit in?
Disengage.
No, I can't, damn it. I was just a second too slow. Now I'm gonna wait till these fire assaults expire, but I need to kill these things too.
Engaging target. Setting course.
Ship ready.
Because yeah, you're not really moving also, so long as you survive the fire assaults, I'm fine. I just gotta conceal these ships.
Fury interceptors in flight. Changing course. We
I
wait your
didn't
command.
quite get the ram I wanted to last, but
Target locked in.
it is the last flagship
Course
too.
engaged.
Geez, you're taking a bit of a pounding.
All is
I guess what I
lost.
should have been doing is just turning with you more.
Engaging engines.
Disruption bomb's
Ship
good
ready.
there. Yeah, because I can still fire torpedoes despite my lack of speed.
Aye, Admiral.
I just gotta make sure I hit proper. There's a bunch of fire assaults there.
Understood.
Let's get these frigates are like my strongest weapon now because they have additional torpedoes to fire on me.
Underway. We
And you
serve.
are perfectly in ramming distance.
Underway.
A little bit sloppier than I would like, but this looks like a victory now.
Your orders? The battle is lost.
Don't worry, I'll worry about executing the crew in a moment.
Ship ready.
Although the deck could expire at a bad time too. I just want to wait till the fires go off first to help mitigate the morale damage I'm about to take.
We wait your command.
The enemy
There.
has accumulated
I'm pretty happy with that
50% of
victory.
strategic points.
It seems a little bit weird to have the flagship just rush in there, but at the
Ship
same
ready.
time, they had synaptic link, so that wasn't a big loss, I guess. It just seems odd. It doesn't. I just don't know how much it synergizes with the rest of the fleet. So I'm gonna have to look at what exactly their fleet is, because they have a drone for objectives that seems a given. 7 Krakens, so maybe that's why they really wanted a lot of those Krakens, because they are ridiculously durable. It goes without saying. Since the regeneration alone negates a fire assault, they have 83 armor. The only thing they're really weak against is the bombers and torpedoes, mainly. It's because they don't have any point defense, which I really do need to pay attention and get some good use out of my frigates, maybe with that said. Although, they still will need some support fire if they're even going to kill those frigates to begin with. Since 2 fire assaults from a single falchion is not going to be enough. With what I just said, the melted torpedoes kind of negate that. But that was a good result, that was a good victory, I'm happy with that. Again, a little bit sloppy a tiny bit, since I didn't really prepare the best, I feel like, for spore clouds and got caught in there a lot longer than I would have liked. Now, I'm just wondering how I want to switch this next. I'm gonna go Chaos, I think, because I'm suspecting I might run into him again, which I want to be prepared for. It's always possible we get someone else, but I'm going with this in mind that we may face off against Pyro Acid again. So, same kind of strategy, just lack of torpedoes and really ramming potential. But I do... How many frigates do I have? I think it's 3, so I can still spot them relatively well. And with the accuracy fall-off, yeah, this is what I was prepared for. Just a rematch, different fleet, so it's not going to be a rehash of just pummeling down the same fleet over and over again. We're going to make this interesting. At least try to. And it'll be a good learning experience to see how all the other factions fare in comparison. Since, like I said, this fleet does not have ramming potential or torpedoes, unless I want to go with the spoilers, and even then that's a ridiculously difficult prospect to do. But I do have better accuracy at range. I'm willing to go with armor piercing, but I ideally want to stay away from them. And what else is there that it could be useful? Since extended range, I found out getting up to 28,000 on any of my weapons is not a thing you can actually do, unless they somehow fix that. That might be the exception. Morale means nothing. Emission dissipator could be really good though. Especially if I fly in the gas clouds, since at least it keeps them from firing more pyros at me from range, but do I want the emission dissipator over the armor piercing though? Since I am going to be running away from them a lot. I don't know if I like this the best, but I already technically know what their fleet is. And the one with the foil lurker is the one that is the battle cruiser. So it's not, or at least the Devourer, I guess in this case, so it's not as scary as it could be. Then otherwise I need to plan my movement. How do I want to circle around, since I'm going to need to spot them too really quickly. With that said, I need a beacon. And I like to swap these around, just for hotkey convenience. So, with 4 frigates, I should be okay spying them.
Setting course.
And actually, I could grab this objective immediately too. With the convenience of my fighters and all that to help.
Swift Death Squadron seeking prey.
This is a little bit ridiculous, having my beacon way over there, but I think that's where I'm going to circle around. So I need the vision to have the confidence to kind of boldly go through that direction, if I were to be honest.
Show us our victims.
And these 2 frigates are going to spot over on the left for me,
The enemy has seized
while you cover the
strategic
potential
area.
blind spots.
Moving to those
That's my plan there. Yep, okay, this justifies... Hell, you gave away where everything is, so this is a little unnecessary. And sadly, these are cruisers and not battle cruisers, so they're going to take a tiny bit longer to grab a point. But now I have to change my heading. With that said, kind of justified in that, but I have the macro cannon firepower. It's not going to be as convenient killing Krakens, though. Goes without saying.
You have seized a strategic area.
But with enough firepower, I should be good.
Enemy ship sighted.
And actually, you have a make super heavy lance, but it's going to be a little bit tricky to utilize you.
Orders. As the War Master wills.
Oh, I burnt all my combustion gauges. This is a worst case situation.
Reporting.
Now, can I boost past them?
Coordinates.
Best way to deal with their pyro acids is to just not get hit by it.
Foes activated. For the ruinous powers.
Now, I need to prioritize the target too. That will help some.
We stand ready.
And actually, we'll just go straight through them.
Coordinates.
I gotta be mindful of trying to go after the flagship, but that could be... Well, actually, it's better for my weaponry to do that.
As the War Master wills.
Okay, one's down there to do a critical hit. And it's only one stasis bomb, one spore field, rather.
Enemy ship sighted.
Now, can we ram and kill off these ships? Because more bombers are going to be at least good for this.
Reporting.
But now I'm regretting my armor piercing, or lack of said armor piercing.
Retros activated.
And also, the ship's...
Show us our victims.
It's also hidden, isn't it?
Retros activated.
Get going, get going.
We stand ready.
You are the priority right now.
We are unstoppable.
And bombers, well, they did kill off one of the ships there. Can I at least do enough to justify this?
As the War Master wills.
Because it's going to take way too much time to try and kill off these Krakens without the armor piercing.
Follow your command.
So I'm going to have to ignore them completely and trust my shields to take these hits.
Ship lost. Ship lost. For the War Master. For the
There.
ruinous
So
power.
that gives the shields times to recharge. My bombers, I'm still waiting for my damn bombers.
Your orders. To the slaughter.
And you're on all
Enemy
sorts
has
of fire right
seized a
now.
strategic area.
As the War Master wills.
Now, try and shoot the flagship a bit, will you?
Enemy ship sighted. Your orders.
Well, you're not shooting the battleship very well. So I'm gonna have to
Setting course.
teach you the error of your ways. And you, actually, I should be prioritizing weapons too on these ships as well. That'll help a ton.
But now, we stand ready.
There's the flagship there with the massive claws, but that doesn't help me with synaptic relay.
Reporting. Let the galaxy burn.
Come on, don't lag on me. I was kind of watching for that rush.
Repair my ship or else. Setting course.
Why are you slow all of a sudden? I thought I'd boost with
To
you.
the slaughter.
There we go. Fire assault's dealt with there. We still have 2 hive ships to deal with though, so I really am regretting not having the armor piercing.
The enemy has accumulated 25%.
That was a big mistake there, just because the extra firepower that would give me. I think it's only like, what, a 50% increase, roughly?
As the War Master wills.
But still damn well worth it. Especially dealing with these damn Krakens. In that case, it would be almost double. Oh, you didn't miss too much there, Al. I just played the same opponent there with an Imperial Navy Lance fleet, but I think I learned my lesson there, and also Plasma Bomb might be really good too. Although, it's so easy for him to dodge the Plasma Bomb, who am I kidding? So I'm wondering, well, Supercharged Void Shield's really good in this case too. Since Disruption Bomb didn't really seem like it did a whole lot, alas, if I were to be honest, so let's play around with this a bit. See if we can fine-tune this, because yeah, the reason I dealt with those Krakens well before with the Imperial Navy fleet is because of the sheer amount of lances I have. And of course torpedoes and just better ramming potential. In this case I need to avoid them, which can be tricky, or at least be able to isolate them. Which may not be a terrible prospect. To an extent. I just need the armor piercing to help increase that damage, since again, 83 armor, I was kind of hoping for a rematch. But interesting portrait there for orcs. First time I've seen it, alas, but how much are we likely to bet this is going to be an all battleship type of fleet? It stands likely, or at least the all Megacan type of fleet is I guess the proper term. So with that said, don't need the beacon. Supercharged Void Shield could be good, but I like the potential of Micro Warp Jump if I get pincered. How likely? The only problem is my opponent will have to deliberately spend their boarding early on for this Micro Warp Jump to even work, because a single boarding action will cancel this out. So, I want Stasis Bomb. can't really think of much else better, unless plasma bombs, the only exception. To get the extra burst of damage, maybe. And I'm not even using my Lance Fleet, to be fair. I have a little more firepower, but not against 83 armor is the problem. If this was the Lance Fleet, then maybe I'd be more concerned about staying far, far away. The trick, though, gets to be how likely can I get behind them and really screw with their formation and control. And I gotta keep in mind no emission dissipator for this. I don't think I will need it, since the main threat's gonna be the mega cannons themselves, after all. But it's gonna be really tricky to utilize this armor piercing, though, at the same time.
We'll follow your command for now.
So what are we looking at here? This will... Okay, I'm going to assume they cut off a battleship for all these frigates.
For the War Master!
In which case they have better long-range potential if these are all onslaughts.
Reporting!
So, I'm kind of thinking maybe I want to split up my cruisers. Because if I could start hitting their flank, that helps a little bit there, but that's probably not all that practical at the same time.
Your orders. As the War Master wills. Show
And
us our
I want to
victims.
grab this point quickly and at least start preparing for maybe a drawn-out match, since it's unlikely I'm going to get the surround I want.
Powers.
But I do have a stasis bomb too.
To the slaughter!
I just gotta remember to stay near my dang flagship for that to really matter.
For the War Master!
The enemy
And
has
you
seized
can
a
turn around.
strategic
Actually,
area.
do I want you to turn around?
We'll follow your command for now.
Fighters are gonna be annoying, but they're only single squadrons.
We stand ready.
And I gotta keep in mind they do have what looks to be a lot of onslaughts too. Okay, I'll deal with this.
You have seized
So long as
the
only a single one
strategic
hits
area.
me. Well, that was two, but
You
still,
have
the shield
seized
held
the
incredibly
strategic
well.
area.
Which is all I really need of them.
As the War Master wills.
Huh.
Swift Death Squadron seeking prey.
So the sooner I spot them, the better.
Show us our victims.
At least so I could start shooting them.
Engines
I already
hot.
kind of assumed these are onslaughts, but at the same time, I really want to hit their sides. And they have the... I gotta pay attention, they also have the slow speed to the saps too.
War Master. Set engines
Alright,
to
let's
full
just
ahead.
boost. Try and minimize the damage a tiny bit.
Retros
No hull damage, well
activated.
except for one that's
The
getting hit
enemy
by
has
said
seized a
saps.
strategic area.
Enemy ship sighted.
And what else do we have? Mega cans again, so...
Reporting. We are unstoppable.
Nope, time to group these all together. I've just realized that they're on separate groups.
Setting course.
Get closer and prepare to the stasis bomb.
Your orders.
The saps are going to be annoying, but with only... Well, let's see. It's not a lot of saps, considering there's 3 battleships for crying out loud, so... It's just an inconvenience rather than something that's really going to screw me over.
Sighted.
And the fact they're using Nova cans, although I should be paying attention for that more, because it is going to start weathering damage on me. Otherwise,
War Master.
your engines are gone, you're taking a crap ton of damage.
Engines hot.
Actually,
Setting course.
all these onslaughts are just grabbing
Your
points,
orders.
which I'm fine with to an extent.
Set engines to full ahead. Moving to those coordinates.
And see if the battleship can
The enemy
continue
has
support,
seized
because
a
so far,
strategic area.
well, one of them's in the gas cloud, sadly.
Retros activated.
Why are you not moving?
We stand
I don't know
ready.
exactly, but the one that has cripple shield should easily dodge these. And shields are holding.
Activated.
Now I just gotta prioritize better, so I gotta switch my target here. So at least that way they're shooting at what I want.
Reporting.
Since that should be all... Well, they probably still have one more Novacan shot left.
The War Master wills. To the slaughter.
20 seconds until... Actually, hold that thought.
For the War Master. Setting course.
Can I at least conceal myself? Although it doesn't matter, because fighter's here.
Engines to full ahead. We stand ready. As the War Master
And that's why I
wills.
kind of need to take the flagship seriously.
For the War Master. For the ruinous powers.
So just run, continue to cripple this flagship. That's the one thing that needs to be screwed over amazingly quick.
Show us our victims.
And Plasma Bomb will be up in 10 seconds, but they'll have their big red
Show us
button by
our
then.
victims. Moving to those coordinates. We stand ready.
Did I really miss the rally? That's the only reason why I gave the rally, to boost the morale on that one ship.
Reporting.
You got a lot of fire assaults though, so that's pretty good for me.
Engines to full ahead.
Flagship's taking hits.
Reporting.
You have accumulated 25% as
And now
strategic
your engines are
points.
temporarily damaged, and I can't fix that due to the cold arms.
Unstoppable.
Oh, you missed.
Show us our victims.
Now your flagship is about to break,
We'll follow
and it
your
should be out of the
command.
fight. I want to say that's out of the fight because of the damage deck.
No, we must escape.
Oh, you're conveniently
Controls
hitting.
activated. For the War Master.
Onslaughts, I don't care so much about. Oh, they're
Moving to those coordinates.
okay. Never mind. These are the savages.
Brace.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
We stand ready.
Come on, stop lag on me. I just friggin' repaired your engines. Oh, your booster's completely gone. That's why.
For the ruinous powers.
So this is going to be chaotic without a doubt. Because I'm flying right past all of them.
Master wills.
And you
Reporting.
should die. You should die.
Slaughter.
Well, you are mutinied. I guess that's the best I can ask for.
Engines hot.
You're going to lose a lot of your crew, but
Your orders.
this one conveniently is still alive. I just got... What do I need to do?
We
Just
stand ready.
somehow have the ship survive the battle.
Setting course.
You have seized a strategic area.
We're well on our way for things to go well.
Show us our victims.
But
You
with
have
your engines
seized a
fixed,
strategic
the battleship
area.
might not survive much longer though.
Doomfire's unleashed.
But I have another plasma bomb to maybe cripple this.
Your orders. Incompetence. We cannot fight on.
Now what's left? Just deal with the savages somehow. Or the
Show us our
onslaughts.
victims. We are unstoppable.
Because the flagship's pretty much dead at this point, it looks like.
Reporting.
Actually, yeah, kill off the flagship.
Moving to those coordinates.
It's going to burn to death. That will cause all sorts of mutiny problems, and then I should capitalize on that.
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
For the ruinous
Can I capitalize on
powers.
this? This isn't quite over yet. I have 4 objectives. I could
Strike
still
team slaughtered them.
get a good point lead.
For the War Master.
Only problem is you're about to
As
break,
The War Master wills.
and you have a permanent engine destruction too, which is going to suck.
No, we must escape. We'll follow your command. For now.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming.
Locking weapons.
Now I guess what I need to do is just conceal these ships, or
The
they're all
enemy has
marked.
accumulated 50%
I just
of
have to do the
strategic
boring thing now, I
points.
guess. Well, actually, you're revealed, so that doesn't help me
We
much.
are unstoppable. Your orders.
Now,
For the War Master.
you're going after one ship? That's fine. I'll just steal this final point. is I guess what I need to do. And then in about 50 seconds I'll get to boost up my morale some. Since sadly this is dead no matter what I can do.
Engines hot.
And any kills I can get on them is amazing, so... This is kind of what the infidels are
Show us
for.
our victims. Retros activated. Moving to those coordinates.
Yeah, and they're really really close to breaking too, so...
Reporting.
The more of these I kill, the better.
We'll
Yeah,
follow
especially
your
now with
command.
double fire assaults.
Now. Let the galaxy burn.
Prioritize these, ram them, do whatever is necessary.
Stand ready. Enemy ship sighted. Your orders.
Where's the torpedoes? Okay.
Luminous powers.
I am hitting with torpedoes, just not very well.
75% of strategic points.
For the War Master. Setting course.
At least we negate their point. That's the one big thing out of this. But I need boosters. I need to switch to reload
You
now.
have seized a strategic area.
We'll follow your command for now.
Because all they have left are what? 3 objectives?
Enemy
You
ship
two
sighted.
should be able to deal with the one frigate trying to be sneaky on the right there.
Show us our victims.
And you two just get the hell out of there. Zap cannons are a lot less
unstoppable.
weaker. A lot less impactful now.
We stand ready.
I'm just
The
gonna have to
enemy
make some
has
bold
seized a
movements.
strategic area.
Yep, this will be over in another 2 minutes roughly.
For the War Master.
Maybe not the most exciting end to a match, but hey,
Engines hot.
we are dealing with mega cans for crying out loud. It's kind of a given what the strategy needs to be
Show us our
a lot of the
victims.
time.
As the War Master wills. We stand ready. For the ruinous powers.
And I am still getting
Your
shots on
orders.
these too, so I'm in good shape. I just gotta keep grabbing these objectives is
You
the
are
main
close
thing.
to victory by strategic
And you
points.
two are easy enough targets.
Moving to those coordinates.
Just gotta make sure I don't get pincered. Which is fine.
As
You're
the
already
War Master
turning
wills.
to an angle I can punish.
Reporting.
I can already punish this to an extent.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
In all honesty, it's not the point I want to grab, it's
We
mainly
stand
killing
ready.
these frigates that matters most to me.
Engines hot. For the
Oh,
War
you're turning around
Master.
fine. Turn the hell around.
Moving to those coordinates.
Just gotta make sure
Your orders.
boosters are getting a chance to recharge.
Show us our victims. We are unstoppable. Show us
There,
our victims.
finish these damn frigates.
We'll follow your command.
Because you got 50 damn armor, what are you gonna do about it? And apparently I didn't fire with one of my torpedo salvos like I
Show us our
thought.
victims.
Which is a little annoying.
Retros activated. For the War
Which one still has
Master.
torpedoes? Okay, well actually they're both about to come up in
We
10
are
seconds, so I'm okay.
unstoppable. Show us our victims. Moving to those coordinates.
And fire, and give me another kill. Well, that was terrible torpedoes, but then again, we are facing off against A3 Prow. At least I managed to cripple the damn flagship enough. Maybe I should have prioritized the deck, but realistically, only the deck on the 2 cruisers would have been realistic. After all, the battleships would take an eternity to try and kill down, but an odd type of fleet. Since they had how many saps? If I'm remembering the battlecruiser saps, I think they only have 2. So we had a grand total of 7. So a 7-second slow with the saps is pretty damn fearsome if you don't account for them. It was a little bit of a mess, but a fun mess at that. Is this... no. Well, I did see fighters. I'm trying to remember. There were fighters, so yeah, these... Okay, there was only one with mega cannons, so they only had... They didn't even have any saps. Okay, I take back what I was gonna say. That strategy of using saps to slow was probably a terrible mistake since they only had 3 of them. A 3-second slow. It could have made the difference still, but... I was going into this thinking they took the battle cruisers for maybe more saps, more slows. But I was wrong. Still, that was a victory I was kind of not expecting there a little bit, because that tractor cannon is all sorts of nightmare. All sorts of trouble. And in all seriousness, I do need to figure out what kind of these 4 sub-factions I want to play as, just so I have the convenience of these additional skills and upgrades. But flavor-wise, I like the Alpha Legion. It's just a shame I'm kind of being punished for it. Since I'm missing out on Slaanesha's Promise, which probably doesn't do a whole lot there since their shields go down relatively quickly. Void Locust could be useful for when I get in close, I guess, but I'm trying to avoid them, so realistically that'd be only for regenerating health. Thousand Suns realistically I like, but it encourages me to use a Emission Dissipator if I'm going to use that, which I could have gotten away with since, again, I was trying to avoid them all this time. Either way, let's mix it up. I'm feeling like battle barges. I just don't I don't really care for the double battle barge, but it might be fun to try it out later. Play a little bit of everything, and maybe I'll go back to my Imperial Navy fleet afterwards. I just don't know if we're going to encounter the same opponent again, or encounter our Tyranid friend. Which is mainly why I want to mix it up, so that way we have at least different type of matchups, as opposed to keep doing the same thing, unless it's something that I'm actually losing against, in which case I would like to try and learn that. Learn how to deal with it, rather. Oh, what do you mean about Alpha Legion? Mind you, I don't know much about the Alpha Legion lore. Oh god. So, I think this is going to be a 6-cruiser fleet, maybe. I recognize the name, at least. So what do I have going for me? Well, I have less bombardment cannons, but more raw damage, which may not mean much. Because you're asking on what side am I on for the Alpha Legion? I didn't know they had... Maybe... I didn't know they had like a conflict there. I just know their reasoning for turning chaos, we'll just say. That's kind of where I'm interested in their appeal as far as the sub-factions. But what do I have going for me here? How do I best... well, if they're lances, maybe I might be okay. The battleship can handle the critical hit potential really damn well there. But it relies heavily... Well... That's not... I'm gonna say I like the theory there, but if I'm understanding the novel... What is it? Alpha, is it? I forget what the Horse Heresy book's called, but if I'm remembering that properly... That's not entirely true. It's in the book anyway. Their reasonings for turning chaos may have changed after the Horse Heresy since they lost, but... Yep, this is 3 cruiser fleet. Or 6 cruisers, so... I think I just want to prioritize weapons in all honesty. Ideally start crippling the bombardment cannons and their damage potential, although they probably can still outboard me. So I'm just wondering how I can win this matchup.
Give us purpose.
They have the beacon there.
Where shall we strike?
And they have really good range on their
Engines engaged.
lances too, I gotta keep in mind too.
I am listening.
But more of the story, all I want is to have the strike cruisers avoid as much damage as possible.
The enemy has seized a strategic area. You have seized a strategic area.
Moving to
And
position.
I think my opponent's just gonna shoot me at range too once I do get revealed.
Give us purpose.
So I'm gonna have to use that against them.
Full speed.
So I think I have to get to the second gas cloud quickly, ASAP. Since this gas cloud's not gonna be useful for me.
We stand ready. Underway. Show us the enemy.
Because if they get their sweet spot to just hit me at max range with their lances, I'm gonna have an awkward time trying to fight them.
I am listening. Repositioning. Give us purpose.
So I am gonna start taking hits pretty soon here. Oh, and I completely forgot, they have Disruption Overcharge, don't they? Space Marines has Disruption Overcharge. So this skill is useless. I'm gonna lose just because of not being able to take advantage of my durability.
We stand ready. Hold course.
If I'm understanding this correctly. They may think maybe I'm using 6 cruisers, in which case Disruption Overcharge has a lot less value, so maybe I could get away with that.
Repositioning. Where shall we strike?
But yeah, they have Disruption Overcharge.
You seized a strategic area.
Where shall we strike? Underway. Give us purpose. For where we
Yeah,
are needed.
what do I prioritize?
Hull failing. Bulkheads collapsing. Moving to position.
Okay, well, like, you're pretty much dead already.
I am listening. Give us
Yeah,
purpose.
this is not gonna go pretty for me unless I can kill the engines really quick.
Where we are needed. Halt! Advance! Engines engaged. I am listening. Repositioning. Enemy in sight. At your command. Boarding successful. All power to engines.
Now, Battleship has the means to take all these damage. I just gotta
Boarding successful.
remember to call arms pretty well here. And also, I gotta remember I have dumbfire torpedoes too, don't I?
Hold course. Hold advance. Show us the enemy. Our rock cannot be denied. New vector acknowledged. We stand ready. Repositioning. Give us purpose.
Now, I am prioritizing weaponry, so this should help some, but
Enemy in sight.
now I gotta actually do damage. Because, sadly,
Hold course.
this is pretty much over here. Because thankfully they are braced for impact, so I just don't got the convenience to get the most firepower on my battle barge.
Boarding caused critical damage. At your command. We stand ready. Our rock cannot be denied. Where shall we strike?
Let's see, I launched boring torpedoes there. I actually am doing a bad job using my boring torpedoes there. Or dumbfire torpedoes. I should have been using them right off the bat.
All power to engines. Engines engaged.
But, yeah, can't recharge the shields because just one macro cannon is denying me.
Boarding caused critical damage.
You have
There.
accumulated 25% of strategic points.
And I kind of, yeah, I'm just not getting critical hits, am I? Because I switched to reload mostly. And also I have fighters, so I should have been using those to help deal with their point defense as well.
Show us the enemy.
Because they last long enough to allow for these torpedoes to hit fully. There, that's a lot more promising.
25% of strategic points.
So that's what I should have been doing. Going for those decisive kills and using the fighters as the screen. But this is already over and I'm doing a bad job controlling too. And I have to pay attention, was that Honor the Chapter as well? Because that kind of can screw them over amazingly. If I do that properly.
Admiral's vessel destroyed.
Yeah, if they honor the chapter on the flagship, I gotta make sure I do the damage necessary. since I didn't really get much critical hits there to justify killing the weapons fast enough, but a lot of that was because of the called arms negating my lock on and switching the reload, so maybe I'm overestimating the lances because they're not really the best in damage potential. It's just the range you have going for them there, because otherwise, even though they haven't been buffed, the Dauntless has the exact same type of lance after all, and it's never really used, so it's just a combination of the faster capture speed, the A3 armor, and the boarding potential that is where you would take a lance strike cruiser over a Dauntless. Since it's 80 additional points as well in comparison to a Dauntless, and it still has, well, it doesn't have a bombardment cannon for damage reason, but you don't honestly, I want to argue you don't take a bombardment cannon mostly for damage alone. Can be really tricky to do. But that is a difficult bout to do there, and hell, yeah, just a single fighter squadron helps a lot in dealing with the point defense. I just gotta make sure they start dying immediately. Gotta make sure that happens. The disruption bomb kind of was pointless too. I don't know why I took that there. Since again, disruption overcharge just denying the shield is much more practical. And I didn't really have much other upgrades to utilize either. And unless I get an engine hit, plasma bomb is kind of pointless too. Yeah, there's not really a lot of skills in all honesty for that mirror match, it looks like. If I were to be honest. 200 shields on the strike cruisers, disruption bombs pointless. Supercharged void shield's the only one I could say would be good, but until that bug gets fixed, we've seen that I didn't even have a window to recharge my shields. So I couldn't do anything with that skill whatsoever. But I want to keep going with this fleet nonetheless. And see if what we get. But yeah, I never really sought to use the fighters all that much there, because I wasn't even aware or paying attention to their brace for impact the best. And once they start dying, that's less point defense, and depending on how things go, I almost won't need the fighters as much once there's a lower count. I just was not paying attention. Was that Armada chapter being utilized? Since I can abuse the hell of that once, since any critical hits I get kind of will stick. Which includes the engines, which helps a lot for the plasma bomb too. So it is a bit all-in-ish, to say the least. Which is why I'm only really comfortable using Armada chapter with the battleship due to the resilience. It could still bite me in the ass sometimes, but it normally will take only light enough critical hit damage in time for when emergency repairs comes back up, in which case I can deny all the light damage before they become permanent. If done right, and if I'm aware of what my opponent's capable of. That was a weird intro there. But we've seen corn, so we can expect a couple things here. And I have good boarding myself, as well as boarding torpedoes to kind of force them to dance a bit. And otherwise, let's see, strategy is going to be pretty straightforward, similar. I'm expecting a corn, so they're not really going to be playing a long-range type of game, you would think. You would think anyway, but it's still possible for them to have Acrons and all that. And I really do need Disruption Overcharge, kind of to help deal with these shields, don't I? It's kind of a given. And Chaos does not have Disruption Overcharge themselves, so I have a reason to at least take the Supercharged Void Shield. So I think we're good here. I'm just going to have to prioritize the deck on one of those ships, so at least that way it's vulnerable to the Kulex's Assassin. And then everything else will be dependent on what we're up against. But I want to at least prioritize one of the decks, ideally on a cruiser. So that way we can force an immediate mutiny on it when that deck goes down. Since I'm more inclined to do boarding assault actions if I can get close enough. Just for the troop damage.
Underway.
And so far we're looking at what? I'm guessing 3 battleships. Well, there's a 4th, so maybe there are 4 Grand Cruisers in that case. Which I should have a good time getting in close. I'm just trying to think. Oh, there's 5. Never mind.
Repositioning.
The spoiler is right there, so I think I want to kill your generator. Actually, with disruption overcharge, that's not needed, so... Again, I would like to destroy the deck on one of the smaller ships. Make it a little more faster, and maybe not have to rely on boarding as much to get that deck damage.
At your command.
And what are you? You're a cruiser of some kind. Unless you got a handful of frigates also boosting up the speed.
Moving to position.
You have seized a strategic area.
We stand ready.
The enemy
I might as well
has
launch
seized
my
a
fighters to help
strategic
defend,
area.
at least to help get rid of these nuisances. Since I don't think I'm going to need my fighters very aggressively yet.
You have seized a strategic area.
Yeah, my boring probably need for my boring torpedoes, so I'm gonna have to recall them as soon as these despoiler ships get shot down.
To where we are needed.
And let's see what we're up against too.
Halt advance.
So kill the fighters, recall, and that should
Show us the enemy.
recharge the cooldown in time for me to get vision on what at least I plan to go
Give us
after.
purpose. Hold course.
Where shall we strike?
There, fighters gone, recall. We still have 14 seconds, so
We stand ready.
The
everything's
enemy
on
has
time.
seized a strategic area.
This debris is in the way though, so I need to fix that.
Engines engaged.
Or celestial body, I think is what they call it.
Show us the enemy.
So we got 2
I am
Hades.
listening.
And I almost
Where
rammed
we are
myself,
needed.
which is not something I want to have happen.
Show us the enemy. Where shall we strike?
Now, let's launch some torpedoes.
I am
And ideally scan these again for good measure.
underway.
I need to make sure I time this properly.
We stand ready.
I have about 10 seconds, so scan them now.
Enemy in sight. Give us purpose.
Repositioning.
Okay, so they have 2 Grand Cruisers as well. So if they stay in the gas cloud, they're going to get hit by the torpedoes before the mark falls
Moving
off.
to position.
Actually, is it possible I can use this debris? Nope. The spoiler's doing its thing, alas, so these torpedoes are almost
We
all going
stand
to get
ready.
shot down.
You have seized a strategic area.
But we have 3 objectives and I have a gas cloud.
At your command.
And you are still alive.
Our wrath
Well, actually
cannot
only
be
one of you
denied.
is marked.
New vector acknowledged.
Where shall we strike?
So I did get a good amount of boring torpedoes at least in, so that's a good start.
Show
I'll
us the
take it.
enemy. Hold course.
Just don't want giving you any free critical hits. You have to come to me.
Boarding caused critical damage. Our wrath cannot be denied.
Alright, not quite enough to do... Yeah, they immediately repaired it, so...
Give us purpose.
At your command.
Now... I want to try and do damage to you. I don't have extended range anymore. And you can scanner
Give
pulse
us
me
purpose.
conveniently enough.
Redirecting.
Engines engaged.
But that's a good start. We almost killed off like 2/3 of that one cruiser's fleet, so once we get in close...
I am listening.
Once we're ready to commit... Damn it!
Repositioning.
You were supposed to be in the gas cloud still and get concealed.
I am listening.
So you turned a little bit too well, I guess.
We stand ready. Where shall we strike? All weapons sustain fire.
Now, I don't think we're going to kill these the best, especially when I miss my
where we
ram
are needed.
attempts.
Show us the enemy. Moving to position.
But denying you two is a big boon.
Where shall we strike?
Actually, I guess we're gonna commit anyway. I think we should. Where are the fighters out?
Where shall we strike?
Never mind that thought. And I still got plenty of shield strength, so let's just grab the objective.
Show us the enemy.
You have recharged, so you're good.
At your
And we'll have the
command.
gas cloud conveniently after.
Halt! Advance!
Because they don't quite have a lot of firepower. I should, in all honesty, just bull rush into them, but
Halt,
let's have our fun. Because I'm just going to immediately recharge these shields as soon as they start to recharge anyway.
Engines engage.
And the battle barge can take a lot of hits, but I really do
The
wish I
enemy
had the
has
extended
seized a
range,
strategic area.
so I can actually fight back.
I am listening.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Now, shields are recharging. There we go.
Underway. We stand ready. At your command.
So no frigates so far, and I'm invisible. Ah, dang it, I had to fly out of the objective too. Which is fine. Because now they're getting closer, they're falling into the trap. My fighters are not going to last long, but
Full speed.
let's
Hold
see
course.
about making this work.
Enemy in sight. I am listening. Enemy in sight.
Go ahead, board my ship.
Rearm.
That's kind of what I want. Although that was a bad time to get a critical hit, I gotta say.
Boarding caused critical damage.
Although, maybe I did the order wrong there. My ships are all flying off in different directions.
Redirecting.
But if the fighters get shot down, I got really damn good dumbfire torpedoes for
Shall
this.
we strike?
To where we are needed.
Boarding successful.
We stand ready.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Alright, are those torpedoes hits? They look like they're good hits.
Engines
There, one Grand
engaged.
Cruiser gone. And without even using all my boring, there goes like 2 of the cruisers.
Moving to position. Boarding caused critical damage.
Now, let's have my frigates actually do something to contribute here.
It will be
Engage
destroyed.
and lock on.
Give us purpose.
And actually, 20 seconds till you can repair.
Repositioning.
Oh god, you're gonna explode too.
I am listening.
I wasn't paying attention to that fact, but most of them are still gonna fade.
Strategic points.
Hold course. Where shall we strike?
Oh, bad time to launch bombers, because they're not gonna help you here.
Boarding successful.
There.
Give us purpose.
Supercharged void shield did what it needed to there for the battle barge.
Positioning.
Just gotta watch for another
Boarding
explosion, I
caused
guess.
Critical damage.
And sadly, my frigates are losing this fight. They took too much damage.
We stand ready.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Now, I want to board you. Actually, yeah, just grab the objectives. Not much point here now, since we're gonna win just by destroying their
Where
fleet.
we are needed. Launch Thunderbolts.
And just finish this thing off.
We stand ready.
At least kill off the crew, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Give us purpose.
Since it's still at full health, there's not much point in going for raw
Underway.
damage.
You have seized a strategic area.
Show us the enemy.
And you can go deal for a cruiser friend over
At your
here. Hell,
command.
are you're probably just gonna make this easy for me.
I am listening.
Yep, they gave up. Yeah, maybe I should have just brute force in there. That probably would have been better for me, but well. I like to try and get a positional advantage as well, especially in case where we're facing us with against something that's a lot more optimized, maybe a little more dangerous, like the all Acheron type of fleets, maybe. Or I don't know about slaughters. I don't really see slaughters anymore to really know how that fares. But nonetheless. Well, I wonder what that was. Probably just Foy Weaver again, if I had to guess. But in all honesty, for an Acheron fleet, Winds of Change in theory would be good. If I want to metagame, suspecting I face off against Foy Weaver again, I probably want Slanesh Promise, because that's an immediate... Yeah, that immediately turns off their hollow field. At least when they get in close. Although, I never played with this ability, so I have no idea exactly what kind of range it has to realistically hit. But, ultimately, I think I want to go with Winds of Change for my Lance-type fleet, if I were to be honest. We'll try this in at least one match and see what happens. And then otherwise I don't know what kind of upgrades I want. Since Lances kind of have a history with almost all the factions of having really no upgrades that work well with them. Since almost all of them already have max range. And since you can't boost it to 20,000, or at least you couldn't before, that kind of makes the extended range on the flagship kind of pointless too. Aww. I'm left wanting. Oh well. I'm well equipped to deal with a Tyranid fleet. Just again, lances against those Krakens would be really damn good. Now it's just a question of what should I prioritize. Should I prioritize the Krakens or not? It ultimately comes down to if I catch the frigates by themselves, I guess, the truth is. But again, no upgrades to really complement this the best. I kind of would have liked to have been with my Macrocan fleet to playtest this. Because yeah, there's almost seriously no upgrades for me. Since this, at least it originally didn't work if I had lock on like my Desolator. Even though it has 20,000 unit range or 27, I still couldn't shoot that far, which I would take it otherwise if it seemed like a good idea. But almost literally everything else is not as useful. And I would argue the Emission Dissipator may have cost me since I replaced that for armor piercing the last time I played against the Highlander. Otherwise, oh, I do need a beacon too. I still kind of want a Mission Dissipator because again, Winds of Change is going to be useful there, but I'm going to have to forego not having Disruption Bomb, I guess. Don't know if I like that. But let's go. I keep leaving my opponent waiting quite a lot. And I apologize to them for that.
Your orders.
Yeah, where do I expect them? Well, I can hear them rushing, so that helps a ton in that regard. Since I don't really have fighters this time.
For the War Master.
So I'm gonna need to spot them really quickly. Oh yeah, and I have immunity to asteroid fields too, as stupid as it may seem, but it's like I hinted, I don't have much alternatives for upgrades.
Show us our victims.
And if I can catch those frigates quickly or early enough,
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
then that will help me deal with them really, or at least deal with their firepower
The
really
enemy
damn
has
well
seized
too.
a strategic area.
Because the main mind says to focus on the hive ships, because of course when they all die, their morales will break that much quicker, but
Engines hot.
then we get an awkward situation where all the Krakens are behind me because I'm avoiding them,
Stand ready.
and they can do enough fire damage results to murder me, especially with how close they are with their accuracy.
Enemy ship sighted. Reporting.
So we spot the hive ship, so that's not terrible, and I should prioritize weapons. I never really put much thought into that, but denying them their weaponry is a big deal.
Set engines to full ahead.
And just run away. Try and kill this thing off as quickly as we can, but it's going to be a slow process.
Moving to those coordinates. Your orders
And watch my booster gauge, because
as the War Master.
I'm going to want these to get hit in.
Reporting. Retros activated.
Okay, something broke. It was just a broadside weaponry, but
Your orders. Set engines to full ahead.
and I can winds to change, but they don't quite see me at the moment either. I just got to be good about my formation here.
As the War Master wills. We stand ready. We stand ready.
Okay, at least this gives me an opportunity to shoot their
Set engines to
frigates
full
some,
ahead.
which is kind of what I want.
We are unstoppable.
Oh, and you already scanner
To the
pulse,
War
so
Master. To the slaughter.
so your prow's completely gone. That's like half your
Ruinous
your
powers.
your real firepower gone.
Retros activated. Your orders.
Now, just gotta start sending the herd, I guess.
We'll follow your command. For now.
And I gotta remember these things do have torpedoes, even though I'm doing a bad job. Kind of neglecting them a bit.
Setting course.
They won't be prevalent until later, I guess. Due to the sheer amount of point defense is gonna be easily negated. You got 2 fire assaults, that's getting hit hard.
Show us our victory.
We can grab objectives behind them.
As the War Master wills.
And realistically, I should be sidestepping with these. This is part of what I'm talking about, dodging macro cannon shots a bit. Because I can do that, at least with the frigates.
Reporting.
Although Chaos and Imperial Navy are some of the slowest turn rates in the game, so it's not the most practical use of my time.
We'll follow your command. For now. We stand
And
ready.
oh, I gotta remember, those curses things are regenerating their health too, which is a little bit of a nuisance. But
Your orders.
we can grab objectives. I gotta remember,
For the ruinous
I have a beacon too,
powers.
which I don't even think I...
Enemy is
Did I
seizing
even
one
use
of
the
your
beacon all yet?
strategic areas.
That may have been a mistake.
Switch to silent running. Show us our victims.
And there's a cruiser there being shot. So I need some assurances I'm not gonna
stand
get
ready.
ambushed here.
Engines hot.
Yep, I have a beacon,
Setting course.
so
The enemy
I should
has
be okay
seized a
here to an
strategic
extent.
area.
Show us our victims.
You have seized a strategic area.
We can't take much more.
Just grab their points, I guess is the plan behind them.
Wills.
The enemy has seized a strategic
Although,
area.
wasn't paying attention to my poor frigates.
Show us our victims. We are unstoppable.
Now, can I do the damage necessary on you? Ideally, permanent weapon damage.
For the War Master. For the ruinous powers.
The Krakens are here,
Reporting.
and I did burn my scanner pulse, so
Moving to those coordinates. We stand ready.
ideally all I want is a permanent critical hit, because again, with the regeneration, it's not going to be the most effective.
Retros activated.
Okay, this is convenient. Maybe I'll kill some of their Krakens as a bonus. Because the Hellbringer can go. Just start killing off these Krakens some.
For the dark gods.
Less firepower the better.
To the slaughter. We are
And ideally, keep this
unstoppable.
thing alive, for good measure.
The enemy has seized a strategic
Okay, I
area.
see you over there.
As the War Master wills.
And I'm going to have a scanner pulse in a moment
Your
here.
orders.
Damn it.
Setting course.
We're killing
Show us our victims.
We're killing frigates though, and I have a Winds of Change still available.
Your orders. Setting course.
And right now they're just running away from me, so in all honesty, I think I'd
We
rather
stand
just
ready.
make sure there's nothing waiting for where I'm going, as opposed to what's trying to circle around here.
Reporting. Enemy ship sighted.
Well, they're marked, that helps a lot there.
Your orders.
Now I just gotta prioritize my targets.
We'll follow your command for now.
And thankfully, them trying to jump this will at least give away where their ships are, because again, I can dodge these pretty well.
We'll follow
Never
your
mind the
command.
basic rules of their pyro asset or their macro weaponry. Now, can I kill that before the mark wears off?
Show us our victims.
You have seized a strategic area.
Okay, that answers the question there.
For the ruinous powers.
Only thing left is just boring damage and
Tear
ID.
them apart.
Okay, we revealed the hive ship. Or a hive ship. It's the one I crippled earlier that has weapons recharged, sadly.
Stand ready.
So not all exciting there, but
Moving to those
I think that's all, almost all of the Krakens.
You have accumulated 25%
Yeah.
of strategic points.
Engines hot.
Now that everything's hitting and everything's conveniently revealed,
You have seized a strategic area.
let's deny. Ooh, never mind, I take that back. You don't want the permit damage. Sadly, in your bad spot for me.
Enemy ship sighted.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
We'll
This is
follow
gonna
your
s-
command.
This is gonna suck a little bit here for his positioning.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Oh, I hear something over here, so there is something boosting still.
For the ruinous powers. We stand ready. Setting course.
So can you shoot down all these?
For the War Master.
Because you have no pyro asset, it's the boring damage I'm afraid of, though.
Your orders.
I think you have no pyro assets left. Yeah, you have no pyro
Show us our
assets anymore.
victims.
The enemy has accumulated 50%.
So
of
outside
strategic
boring, I'm in
points.
decent shape. So we gotta keep that in mind.
We return to the warp. Your orders.
Now, combustion gauge,
We
you're
are
about to
unstoppable.
expire.
Reporting.
And we have 3 objectives on them, and they have quite the point lead, but
Powers.
we can fix that in a
To
moment.
the slaughter.
At least to an extent.
Your orders.
Just don't burn all your combustion gauge. I have you with
Follow your
reload stance
command.
for a reason.
For now. Retros activated. Moving to those coordinates. For the War Master. As the War
So I am
Master
revealed, but only
wills.
temporarily, I'm hoping. And I heard
We stand
I heard
ready.
boosting all that over there. There's something there. So we gotta be cautious.
Reporting. Show us our victims.
Grab the objective and run for me. Actually,
You have seized
leave a little bit of a
strategic
welcome
area.
present for him.
Moving to those coordinates. Reporting.
If I can kill one of these, that helps a ton. But you can see how slow a process this is. But the Hellbringer's kind of doing his thing.
We stand
We're gonna quickly
ready.
lose this point, though.
We'll follow
And
your
all this
command.
time, I didn't really have an opportunity
You
where
have
I'm comfortable
seized a
enough
strategic area.
to hit with
The enemy is
torpedoes.
seizing one of your strategic
And you have no
areas.
proud pyras as well.
The enemy
So we're
has seized
destroying
a
their weaponry, we're
strategic
just
area.
not able to kill them.
Reporting. Your orders.
It's a bit of the problem.
Retros activated. We are unstoppable.
Although, now we could do a little bit of damage, extra hull damage, because again, they're also regenerating their health.
For the War Master.
Now we gotta somehow grab a 4th objective for good measure. Because once they get out of position, if they try and get greedy and get a 4th point, or at least try and get a 3rd point, then I can kind of punish them for
Show us
that.
our victims.
But this is where I need to spread out my fleet to an extent too.
Your orders?
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
You're losing a lot of pyro asset there.
For the ruinous powers! Your orders! Set engines to full ahead!
Now I might regret this
Retros activated!
but let's see if we can grab this third point and then steal this one behind them with the Hellbringer.
We stand ready!
And also I need to swap these cruisers around because you are likely to break. Or at least you're a bit of a liability is what I'm trying to say. It's sadly 50 seconds until...
Engines hot!
Hold that thought.
Show us our victims! For the
You have
ruinous
almost no pyro
powers!
assets, so I can kind of freely engage or at least push
Show us our
forward.
victims!
Do I really want to commit to grabbing this point? Actually, no I don't. Because you have no weaponry as well.
Your orders! We'll follow your
And I
command.
have
For now,
the convenience of just repairing, but
repair the damage at once!
that can backfire.
Reporting! Engines hot! Retros activated!
So just stay there and
Show
hang
us
on.
our victims!
You are top priority.
You
At least getting a
have
kill will help a
strategic
ton here.
area.
Setting
And I
course.
think I'm ready to put an end to this charade.
Your orders!
If they're crippled as much as I think they are, then
Enemy ship
I could just
sighted!
maybe kill them with torpedoes.
We stand ready!
Especially with you you're prioritizing right now, so...
Show us our victims!
Actually, who am I kidding? I could just ram with all of these. Sounds like a terrible idea. Because I'm realistically trying to ram with the flagship,
Engines hot!
which is the one big downside of this fleet is.
Moving to those coordinates! We stand ready!
You're not going to see these torpedoes coming quite literally. The particle effects are too much.
Enemy ship sighted!
And you don't have the pyro assets to deal with this, Sebast,
We
either.
are unstoppable! Adjusting rotation.
There's your drone.
We stand ready!
Finally, the dang torpedoes were put to use. Finally, good God. It took an eternity to do it, but I found some way to use the torpedoes, and good God, this light show too. I knew Chaos liked to party hard, but this is a little bit ridiculous. Well, I like to say I enjoyed that. It probably, considering the slow and steady nature of it, it's probably not the most exciting type of fleet. It goes without saying, but that's kind of Chaos in a nutshell unless I want to go with Slaughters, which I might honestly do. Play around with that some. Just to understand the ships, if nothing else. I don't know if I want to stick with them, because I do honestly like the versatility of the additional range the Carnages can have, as opposed to the limited range the Slaughters have. I feel like that works better in the long run. Unless I could figure out how to utilize the extra range, or the extra speed rather, to best of my ability. And keep in mind, the torpedoes also go 600 speed, so I don't even need Siech's Cloud for that. The torpedoes are just conveniently underneath my battleship. The only way you could tell those torpedoes are coming, outside the fact that it's of course equipped with said torpedoes, which you would obviously be prepared for that against maybe Space Marines or Imperial Navy. But yeah, you just have to hear them is the only way you know those torpedoes are coming, alas. And with such a dramatic maneuver like that, which is kind of not the norm, I would imagine, of a Chaos, you kind of could suspect such a crazy gambit. And yeah, once their pyro asset was gone too, keep in mind, if I'm hitting the side of their hive ships, they're not benefiting from their spurs, so technically, I should have more health than their hive ship, I think. I have 2,400, I believe. What do they have? 2,000 health. So yeah, my despoiler, not even including the torpedoes, could just straight up ram it to death. Since they have the same armor, and the torpedoes just guarantees that fact. It's just a matter of not conveniently going for a ramming maneuver when they can just rush to turn their prow to me. That would be the only thing to be aware of, to be worried about. But yeah, in all honesty, that if I should try to get more aggressive when I know I destroyed enough of their weaponry, to at least deny all those fire assaults that they could get from me, especially with a hive ship for crying out loud. The Krakens, of course, are going to be a pain just because of the 83 armor, but my lances are easily well equipped to deal with that. Perfect aim, armor piercing, and eventually going to get a lot of fire assaults to kind of at least negate the regeneration. Yeah, there's one thing to keep in mind with the torpedoes is they will actually go through the ship that launched the torpedoes. You can easily see this if you're playing as Eldari and launch torpedoes when you Wraithbone shift. Who the hell are we fighting against? I saw no one. Did the game bug out on me? I'm a little bit scared. Oh no, we do have an adversary. It just... I don't recall seeing who we were up against. But yeah. It's obvious, like I was saying there, if you're playing as the Agion or any of the Eldari fleet, that basically, Wraithbone shift and launch your torpedoes, the torpedoes will basically fly right through you. They will hit your other ships though, so that might be what you're referring to when you said you hit your own ships after boosting. It's still humorous, not what you want though, but it makes it a lot more convenient to help deny those kind of errors, or accidental plays I guess, since you can't really turn off your Wraithbone shift, can you now? When you're rapidly flying towards your own torpedoes you launched like 3 or 4 seconds ago. Just because you misclicked or accidentally thought you had Falls Maneuver available, like with what happened to me multiple times. Now I do want a beacon, it goes without saying. Don't know how useful the Disruption Bomb's gonna be, but it forces them to move.
Changing course.
Now, I want to watch for fighters, listen for boosting.
We serve.
If my opponent's gonna fall for that. In all honesty, what do I expect? I expect the usual 2 Void Stalkers, maybe. I could be wrong. It's at least the easiest to grasp your head around of Eldari, so I don't fault him for it, but if I'm good about using my shields to mitigate the damage, that is not really a concern, especially if I could take out one of them. Like, if you've seen my Tau multiplayer match where I faced off against two matches that have double Void Stalker, that's kind of a given.
We wait your command.
And I hear no boosting,
Your orders?
nor no objectives.
Aye, Admiral.
Actually, I want to spread these out, since their pulsars can murder my ships incredibly quick.
Aye, Admiral.
And I want the battleship to take point for a lot of the same reasons before. A lot less likely to critically hit, and really good shield count for taking those initial hits.
Your orders?
Well, that's convenient. Sadly, I got a critical hit before actually hitting something.
Retros.
Aye, Admiral.
Okay, so this is all...
Impossible, Admiral.
I'm gonna take, what, 4 torpedo hits? I only took 3.
Sighted. Maximum burn.
You have
Now, where's the
seized a
beacon? I
strategic
have fighters there,
area.
but that don't help a whole lot. I should have goddamn Novacan shot.
Ship ready.
Forces their hand quite tremendously.
Understood. Your orders?
And by forcing their hand, it means they're forced to turn, which makes it a lot more easier to put pressure on them.
We wait your command.
Do I do summary execution, though, or not?
Setting course.
I think I should. They're still there.
Burn.
Aye, Admiral. Engaging engines.
Now, I don't expect these to hit, and they're melted torpedoes, so they can easily be repaired as well, but if any of them do hit, that goes incredibly good.
Your orders?
Course engaged.
Now, I wasn't paying attention. Did any of those hit? I don't... Well, I think that answers my question with the repair.
We serve.
Now I just gotta get vision to really punish those repairs that they just did. And where's my dictator?
Fury interceptors in flight. Underway. Ship ready.
So, disruption bomb's annoying, but
We serve.
I do have the convenience of these.
Setting course.
We wait your command.
And these don't have... Oh, okay, they do have pulsars. Hit me!
Ordnance acknowledged.
Evasive maneuvers, this is gonna hurt otherwise.
We wait your command. Burn retros.
So that's 2 torpedoes.
Changing course.
Now, I haven't seen any frigates yet, though.
Understood.
But since their shroud effect's now neutered, or temporary out of the fight, I should have a good vantage here.
Underway.
And I can easily correct this in a moment.
All ahead full. Engaging engines. Burn retros. Aye, Admiral. Setting
Yes,
course.
run!
Execute high energy turn.
Hit me! Ah, dang it. Dang latency, the little skipping and all that. That was a little annoying.
All ahead full.
Now, let's give
We serve.
ourselves a little bit of rallying. And that was your last torpedo salvo, so make it not worth it.
Course engaged.
Aye, Admiral. Understood.
I may be lances and not as effective, but I still got ramming spurs. And I know where exactly I'm gonna put them.
You have
Right up your
accumulated
goddamn solar sail
25%
ass.
of strategic points.
Although I should be boarding, that is a terrible mistake because there were a lot of opportunities for me to board. But unless I can hit board the exact ship at the perfect time, I don't think they're gonna be that significant.
Burn retros.
We wait your command.
Reporting successful boarding action.
Engaging engines.
Now I'm just gonna ram you. Since are you gonna accommodate me? Yes, you are. Now die in a Nova
You have
Cannon.
accumulated
Would you
50%
kindly?
of strategic points.
That was a bad torpedo arc, wasn't it? The wreckage is also in the way. They still got scared. They were still terrified by those torpedoes.
Burn retros.
It's definitely a tense one, without a doubt, but with no more torpedoes,
Acknowledged.
I think we're golden. Sadly, my last ship had to be the Dictator, mainly because it was stuck in a stasis bomb.
Maximum burn.
No, I'm not gonna let you die in a blaze of glory.
Aye, Admiral.
I was gonna rob him that one little moment of his one moment of martyrdom, damn it. What better way to BM your opponent than to not let him kill himself? But that felt good. Because now I have flashbacks when I realized it was all cruisers. I had flashbacks of a dang way back when I just died abysmally to a bunch of those cruisers with my original fleet with the... What is it? The 2 Tyrants, the Retribution, Exorcist. So it's good to show that being aggressive and just was probably a good... I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just happy for the win nonetheless. Now, do we have any suggestions for any other fleets that you want to see? Because I've been focusing a lot on the left side here quite a bit. Space Marines, Chaos, Imperial Navy. I haven't even touched any of these other fleets, to be honest. So maybe what I should do... I kind of am itching to play Blood Axes against stealthy orcs. So maybe I'll do that, but... I'll fool around with Necron some more. I want to find an opportunity to maybe play with the inertialist maneuver to see how practical it is, since I haven't had any first-hand experience with this skill yet. Since it seems a little underwhelming, doesn't it? since it's basically just falls maneuver that for your flagship and you have to invest a skill in. And maybe I'll do Tau afterwards. I think that's what I'll do. Have a little bit of fun with Necrons, see if we can get a victory in. And then we'll see what we're up against from here on out. That'll dictate a little bit what's going on, or what I utilize, I suppose. But hey, if we face off against Pyroacid again, you know this is going to go well. I just gotta make sure I kill him quickly is the problem, which is not something you would want. You kind of would expect Necron to be good at. Unless you can get him in a lightning link, that might be the exception. So, if I do face off against Pyroacid or Highlander again, then I basically just want to get in their face and just hit them to all hell before their boarding damage really cripples me. Shoot them and ram them. And by ram them, you mean having them ram you. I get what you're saying. That's the Necron's version of ramming. Just, you use a magnetic field and pull them towards you. Now that actually would be a really cool skill. It actually would work pretty well for, god damn it. That could probably work really well. Just, you have a vacuum or something that sucks them in. Since Necron can't ram, why not just bring the enemy ships to you? And funny enough, that can also help with messing up with some of their torpedo runs too. Since the closer they are, the less likely you are to deal with them with star pulse generators, and of course shooting them down in general with fighters. So if you could just suck them in at a perfect time, they miss out on their opportunity to shoot torpedoes and you get the ramming damage. That would be a good defensive maneuver in some ways too, which will also encourage some enemies to kind of fire their torpedoes at a further distance. Which, again, may not sound like a whole lot, but remember, every single one of these capital ships, these cruisers, have fighters on them. So, they can shoot down a respectable amount, if you conveniently have them in the right spot, though. But that would be fun to see. I kind of am excited for that prospect. I just gotta remember the goddamn hotkeys. It's no longer on H, it's on G for the scanner pulse, which is always infuriating. Which may be a lot of the reason why I don't play Necron as much as I do, since I have to relearn damn hotkeys. Yeah, well, either way, I'm gonna have a bit of a fight on my hands, especially if it's Devil Tomb ship, like what we're seeing now. Only one good side, if you can consider it a good side, is if they have a second for their light cruiser that has almost no firepower to it. It's kind of not going to be very effective at contributing, so realistically, I'm faced off against, 2 Scourges. Well, that changes this dynamic quite a bit, doesn't it? So Scourges are 400 points each, so there's got to be a couple light cruisers around somewhere. And I gotta be very mindful.
Has seized a strategic area.
I only got a single star pulse wave, so I got, and my own doom scythes are not gonna be very effective. And also, why do I have these shrouds here? I gotta move them somewhere where they're not gonna get spotted, ideally.
Motive units fully engaged.
That should help a little bit, since they're now gonna go after the tomb ship and not my shrouds. Yeah, I agree, that would be fun. I want to see a black hole generator or something. Would that be what it called? They technically could do something that's black hole singularity related, couldn't they? Make it even like a Maelstrom-like ability, so that way there is some practicality to using at range, but I wouldn't know what situation you would want to shoot at range outside of ramming. So that's easily dealt with. I heard scanner pulse, let's keep that in mind. And I have 9 seconds until my next star pulse wave, and I honestly can't remember if this works with reload or not. Even though I technically have reload on, so it's non-factor now. And what's over here? I say that's a light cruiser. So I think I want to reveal that and maybe say hello to it. Because if it's a Shroud... Yes, they don't have star pulses, but... If I were to use my fighters aggressively, they're just going to get shot down by a single Scourge.
The
Uh-oh.
enemy has seized a strategic
I think they
area.
know. I think they know my strategy. Which thankfully works out well for me, because that just gives my Star Pulse more time.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Okay, we got Cartouche. Cartouche? I don't know how exactly it's pronounced, but... So long as I could avoid these Shrouds, I can actually win this fight, to an extent. Because you know what? My Doom Scythes are good here, because you just launched fighters out somewhere. Oh, they're in the gas cloud, aren't they? Oh no, you just launched fighters from there, so hopefully... I know it can see which one's being recalled, but I don't know which one has low health. Otherwise I would recall it right now, if I were to be honest. I'm tempted to Star Pulse Wave, but I think I'm going to hold off.
Enemy vessel suffered critical damage.
Oh, and only one of them actually got revealed, so...
Ready to serve.
In all honesty, yeah, my Tomb Ship should be great at dealing with this, you would think. So long as I have a Star Pulse Wave at the ready. I just need something to serve as a conduit for... Well, I take that back. I already got something to serve as a conduit for my Lightning Arc. I just need to make them get closer. Oh, all my fighters are gone. I'm prepared for this. Did I Lightning Strike? Let me just hit the one I'm damaging, that might help. Although it helps if I did it right.
All power to motor units. Ready to serve.
That was a lot of damage, but could have done more. Resurrection Orb's not going to help too much, alas. And I wasn't paying attention to fighters too, damn it. I knew they launched, but yeah. Here comes more, but only the smaller ones, alas. And, oh, never mind, there's one of the Shrouds full of squadrons. So your crew's almost gone. I am splitting my damage a lot, so let's actually kill these cursed things. And there's a frame rate hit there, but if I could prioritize these and kill them, that helps. I am worried about this,
The enemy has accumulated
the Shroud's damage
25%
potential, though.
strategic points.
Or the Scourges, since that was kind of a panic, a Star Pulse Wave.
Motive units fully engaged. Inferior vessels sighted.
So crew is getting killed off quite a bit there, but I'm almost can Lightning Strike. Because they're still boring this thing. You're almost dead, but you're just evading altogether. Engine's currently gone too.
Ready to serve.
That was a bad use of my Star Pulse Wave, because that's costing me right now. 7 seconds and my deck's currently gone, so I can't regenerate.
Inferior vessels sighted.
Yep, until the deck recovers, which we still have to weigh him in, I don't even know if that's reset. Nope, never mind, it's completely gone now. I want to kill the ship.
Accumulated
I just don't know if it's worth
25%
it.
strategic points.
Actually, yeah, and I launched fighters too, so my fighters are doing very little, and I'm not quite doing the damage needed. Yeah, they're just gonna jump out. That's the only problem why I'm not doing this now. And that was no damage at all, which is why you never use that offensively.
Structural damage outpacing repair. Inevitable. Ready to serve. How may I serve? Vessel lost. Adapt
Yep, this is pretty much over now. Just too much split fire, alas. I shouldn't have done the Star Pulse Wave, because that's kind of what they were waiting for, it seemed like. Since that wasn't enough fighters to be a threat. And if only I had waited 2 more seconds. If I had a few more seconds to get the Scarab Swarm off, that would have helped too. But ultimately, what it came down to was the Lightning Link being poorly executed. I let that fall off when it could have been the death of that Scourge. And also could have been a nice shield too for using my shrouds to shield as well. Bit of an awkward angle. And I never did Scanner Pulse as much as I could have for the critical hits either, didn't I? Although, in all honesty, what other upgrade would have been good? This could have been useful, but only if I was in a gas cloud or something. That was a little unfortunate. Oh yeah, I was gonna play some Tau, wasn't I? We can do that. I'll jump back on the Necrons afterwards. So what I'm probably gonna do is play more with the 3 Seeker Missile type battleship fleet. Have a little bit more fun with that. I enjoy that fleet and it has decent longevity. Maybe not so much the actual firepower since I'm not really using the cruisers. Other than that, not much to it, I suppose. Aside from making sure I don't hit myself with said Seeker missiles. That's the main thing. What are we getting? What are we getting? It's still counting down, so I'm inclined to think maybe our opponent dropped out. Okay, there we go. Imagine wagons. You're probably not gonna get where my head went, but god damn it, Blade Boquez. You and your damn wagons. That's all I'm gonna say. Someone I know from MechWarrior, well, way back in MechWarrior 4. Now, that's the image that went in my head. There's something all about wagons that's like a meme on his channel or something. That's all I'm gonna go into about that. But otherwise, we have frigates. With 3 of them, they can capture objective at a decent pace, I want to say. But we're going to have to work around these dang Star Pulse generators, essentially. Since I'm going to have to stagger my shots mainly, is what it comes down to. And they have really short range, so I wonder how useful this is for the lightning arcs. Does this actually work or not like it does with the hull field? Because I don't have much alternatives or much other choices otherwise. Since all my weapons are lances on these battleships, and even the cruisers are mostly lances, I think. So this is not doing well. Oh, I don't care about a mission dissipator because they're short range anyway. That's why I got rid of the emission dissipator. Alright, I'm talking too much again. Let's get going. This looks like, I want to say double tomb ship, but we'll know by how quickly they grab the point.
Ready.
And I do have experimental railgun to help.
Barracuda shoals launched.
Alright, they touch the point, they're capturing it really quickly.
You have seized a strategic area.
I don't want to.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
I wasn't paying. I'm pretty certain it's a battleship, but with the match we just had with the Scourges, I'm a little bit unsure because they capture Grand Cruisers grab points just almost as quickly, after all.
At your orders, Koro.
But again, it's like I said, if they're tomb ships, then they only have like a
Serve the Kovata.
Sekhem there to serve as like the mass recall type of ship.
Drive engaged.
It's gonna suck trying to hit with
How may I serve the Tauva?
what is it, seeker missiles and the bombers when they can just jump out of the way and give themselves more time for
Imperials guide us.
their star pulse wave to regenerate. But I want to stagger fire anyway.
To spread
It's
the
a given.
greater good.
And actually, I want to separate these two a little bit more, so that way their seeker missiles can actually hit properly.
Barracuda shoals launched.
Yeah, we're gonna get fission in a moment.
The Tauva shall prosper.
What do we have here?
Drones have identified an enemy type.
Barracuda shoals launched.
Yeah, those are easily gonna get shot down last. Well, actually, they could do noteworthy damage.
Barracuda shoals launched.
I just gotta make sure
You
they're
have seized
staggered
a
enough to
strategic area.
warrant this.
As the ethereals wish.
And sadly, they're
The
about to
enemy
fly
has
right into a
seized a
gas cloud
strategic
too,
area.
so... Sadly, did not play out, but dang it,
Morel, ready.
that's kind of what I was afraid of some.
The ethereals guide us. We serve the Kovata. At your orders, Koro.
Now I can't get complacent here because I'm about to hit myself too.
Barracuda shoals launched. How may I serve the Tauva?
The patient hunter gets the prey.
So they burnt all... Oh god.
How may I serve?
They burnt both their star pulse generators, so that helps a little bit there.
For Onva, it will be so.
And this conveniently works well at dealing with Necrons a tiny bit.
To spread
Oh,
the
I am
greater
taking
good.
damage though, let's not get too excited just yet.
Barracuda shoals launched.
Aircast ready for orders.
And let's just have these ships... Well, you're supposed to be turning your prow, last I checked. Some good damage.
We
Their
serve
star
the
pulse
Kovata.
wave's about to come back up though, so let's be mindful of that.
Aircast ready for orders. Morel, ready.
And I have experimental railgun, so let's not forget about this.
Kinetic drive engaged. Barracuda shoals launched. How may I serve the town?
Now I gotta kill these things quickly, and I'm relying heavily on my seeker missiles to do that.
How may I serve the town?
The patient hunter gets the prey. Honor the teachings of Viola.
So these are almost dead. And I have bombers for this situation. They double star pulse, so let's kill this thing now. Just ram it to death.
Morel, back.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Now, just gotta kill the other one. Seeker missiles galore.
Drones have
That was probably a
identified
mistake,
an
because
enemy
one of those was a battleship.
Maneuvering thrusters engaged.
Actually, it played out well. That was almost like it... That almost looked like it was planned.
type. Ready for orders.
There you are, my little friend. You're not the flagship, which is probably why this is not going the best for you.
At your orders, Koro.
But now, more seeker missiles to try and murder this thing.
Aircast ready for orders.
And a couple of good rams, a couple of good bombers will finish this.
Drones have identified an enemy type.
You have seized
And
a
experimental
strategic
railgun, where is it? Still 30 seconds.
Tauva shall prosper. How may I serve the town?
Finish it. Finish it now.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
There we go. I do have... No, I don't have rally.
Accumulated 50% of strategic points.
Restore the Earth-class construction.
Alright. I did a bad job again with my frigates, damn it. I think fatigue's starting to hit me a little bit. Yep, the bombers do restock, it's just the assault fighters that don't, because it's a one-way trip with them. So if you're able to keep your bombers alive using fighters or shooting down their point defense in advance, then you can fire bombers as much as you want. Which is why the bombers are so much more powerful later game as opposed to early game when they have a big death ball of cruisers. So ideally, how you're going to see a lot of Tau play is they use their seeker missiles first to kill off a couple of ships, and then use the bombers when for the main fight itself, when there's less of them, and ideally they get themselves separated some. And that increases the chance of you having the committing to, or at least utilizing all bombers, or at least more bombers, as opposed to going like half and half, or at least utilizing a couple of fighter squadrons to kind of shield them and take most of their point defense shots.